5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
From the edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again! And is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
Probably shouldn't have put it on loop, should I?
Why do we even bother?
Oh
my God. If you don't want me to eat them, Russ, stop calling them urinal cakes. I can't say fairer than that. Hello and welcome to the Scarf Bagara World, a weekly show that pushes all the boundaries of just how much there is to say about a 4th Division football club. See that? That's the rule book. Rule book. We're throwing it out, mate. Been thrown out. Well done. Thanks for you messing it all up. Joining me, Nick Lee, it's a man who had a completely normal day at County on Saturday. It's Russ Johnson. Hello, Russ.
all right, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, so you've been mixing with the great and good of County, haven't you? Now look at you, back in the sewers amongst all the shit and the rats. Nice of you to come down from your ivory tower.
I thought you were talking about Monday with the great and good of County. That was at Basque.
Yeah, well, that was as well, yeah. But now look at you. Back where you belong.
Back where I belong.
Take you down.
Absolutely. Tonight then, we've got a bit of a packed show. We've got lots to get through, haven't we? So we better get cracking. We have got Ben Walker, aka County Shirts, best known for all of his shirts. He's going to join us. I don't even know what number this is that he's joined us now. Is it a quad trick, double hat trick? I don't know. What is it?
I think it's a double hat trick at the very least. Yeah.
It's got
Plus, then there's the live shows as well. Like, you're getting ridiculous numbers now.
Yeah,
done more than you, Sue.
Yeah. Should be on the payroll. Should start paying him like we do with everybody else on the show.
Can we start paying us first?
Yeah.
Priorities.
We'll get. In fact, what we'll do, we'll get Ben out in a very, very quick second, and we've also got Joe Ross Williams from Loathe Strangers podcast, which is a Swindon Town podcast. He's going to do our Uppo review for 10-15 minutes very shortly. But first, let's get Ben out. Evening.
Good evening. How are you doing, chaps?
All right. How are you?
Smile wide enough.
I'm all right. Yeah, I've literally just walked through the door, ran through the door, just come back from Leeds. Not had my tea. I'm flustered, so all right. I'm all right.
Just like me every week on here. Then I'm constantly.
You just got out of the shower, Nick.
I'm always in the shower, mate. This is what I do. I have like a Rocky type thing that I have to do before I come on here. So
I don't want to think about you in the shower too much, to be honest.
No. That's one for us, really, to be honest.
I just picking up on the comment. You're always in the shower.
I'm just intent on bringing. Yeah, I'm a grubby bastard, mate. I come to yours to pick up mugs off you, Russ, and then I just feel dirty. The people you've been mixing with, I shouldn't be coming into contact with you.
You're coming to pick up more merch tomorrow, aren't you? Merchandise tomorrow. Okay.
It sounds like you're
before I came on. I'm just messing around with my.
That's fine. It's fine. You relax. You get yourself set up while we get out.
You mess around to your heart's content.
Yeah, while we get Joe out, and we'll talk about the Swindon game on Saturday, so that we don't waste more Joe's time, really, and he can go and put his kids to bed and get his tea. I think they call it dinner down there, don't they? I don't know.
Hello, good evening, everybody. How are we doing?
Hello. All right. How are you?
Not too bad. Considering considering the form down here, Swindon way. But
well, let's talk about that. Well, what I wanted to ask you first was Loathe Strangers for a podcast name. Everybody asks us about ours. Why Loathe Strangers?
Okay, yes. So, have you ever read Fever Pitch with Nick Hornby? So, when we won the 1969 League Cup final and beat Arsenal, he was there as a little kid. And there's a bit in there where he was seeing all these gleeful West Country faces with their awful accents, and that he'd never loathe strangers more. So that's where we've taken that from.
Ah, that's a
I
really
wish
good
we were
one.
that highbrow. We could get our name from literature.
Yeah. No, mate, no. Unfortunately not. So Saturday then, I said to you off air just before we came on, I listened to your podcast this week. Probably not sure if I picked a good or a bad one to listen to. Rich was he was trying to it was a bit like me and Nick when we went through the Rusk era. I was trying to be all a bit positive and Nick was dragging it right down into the gutter.
Who turned out to be right, eh?
Yeah, on your show, Rich was trying to be positive. Terry was he was almost apoplectic, I've got to say, because you're on for, is it like the second worst season ever in the Football League? Is that right?
I think that so Terry being apoplectic and being, the person that you wheel out in the pessimistic times, that's kind of his brand. In fact, a lot of people enjoy that. That's why I've tagged myself as an enthusiastic contributor down here,
Nice.
because he is a fan favorite when he is in pessimism mode. And somebody had commented on that and said, no offense to all of the other enthusiastic contributors. So that's what we've all called ourselves, everyone who's not Terry, because he is the fans' number one. Not so much that we're on form for our worst finish. It's more that, we were supposed to be kind of up there with you guys in the playoff positions. And when Scott Lindsay left us for Crawley, and the worm was maybe turning a bit for him, that it might have been a relationship of convenience, that if Crawley really want him, we'll happily let him go. We don't have to go through the rigmarole of giving him votes of confidence and all that kind of malarkey, and we can make a fresh start. But in January, we just didn't. And although it's still reachable, people are thinking we're closer to that worst finish, which is, I think, 17th in the 80s, than we are to actually getting into that top 7. And I think there's just a kind of resignation that the season is done. We've been hampered by, a lot of injuries. Took a long time to get manager in. We've got Jody Morris, who of course was assistant to Frank Lampard at Derby and Chelsea. But I think it all feels a bit too late.
And is that how you feel? You feel it's too late for the playoffs, but you're not certainly not on for finishing 17th or below, are you? Surely.
Well, so I think that I was on the fence until about 2 games ago, and then we had a absolutely terrible, turgid 0-0 at Walsall, and we're all wishing that something happened. It was just a complete non-game, and perhaps we wished too hard, because on the weekend had a 4-4 draw with Rochdale, who of course rock bottom. 4 goals from Charlie Austin, who's come back in January after going over to Australia to try and crack there in Brisbane, but for personal reasons or whatever, it didn't work out. I maybe thought that he might not be able to compete, just seeing little glimpses of what he was doing out in Australia, but he really has surprised and been a standout. When your superstar striker scores 4 and you don't win, and not only do you not win, we looked like we could have thrown it away at the end. They had 2 really solid chances that by hook or by crook were kept out. And you're getting 1 point out of 2 games that would have turned it around. I think we're all kind of resigned that it's going to be this sort of mid-table oblivion this year.
Yeah, okay. And tell us a bit about the sort of the playing staff as well, because from what I could gather, Charlie Austin was the only player that came out of that 4-4 draw with Rochdale with any credit. You said you'd lost a lot. Are you what are you down to? You're down to have you still got experience in the side? Because when you came to Edgeley Park earlier in the season, at the time, I thought you were the best team that had visited before.
Or the FA Cup game, right?
No, it was in the league game. I'm sure it was the league game.
The league game, you were the best we've seen, but then a few weeks later for the cup game, you were just absolutely terrible. It was weird.
There was a strange bit of hubris to that, where we'd had a big comeback against Mansfield, like a 5-2, and then set up exactly the same way, expecting the same thing, and it didn't quite happen. Personally, I think we must have about 7 or 8 players who are long-term injured, and that experience. So we had Ben Gladwin, who's been with us on numerous spells, and of course went up to QPR and other such places like that. we had him in, and he went to Crawley with Scott Lindsay. Angus MacDonald, for some reason that's still speculative, so he was the captain and Gladwin was the vice captain. He was just allowed to leave in January for nothing, and he's gone to Aberdeen. There's rumours of trying to sell Johnny Williams to Hibs, which didn't go through, or the valuation didn't meet, according to the sort of rumour mill, and he's not quite been the same since. So that experience has all gone. We've gone for a model this year where, and this is someone who gets quite a lot of ire or stick, we've gone for a director of football style model, or a data-led model, but respectfully, it's run by a man who used to do PR for Sky Bet, not like an ex-pro or someone with experience. I don't know. I think it might be, when you get Y Scout, I think it might be trying to pioneer something of that ilk at Swindon. But the recruitment has been getting lots of ex-academy lads, not many loans, and it feels a bit like, you would have heard Terry say, it feels a little bit like people are just playing for themselves, or everyone's convinced that they're the only decent player in the team. There's no cohesion or trust there.
Yeah, I suppose the alarm bells are going off, aren't they, when you're letting managers and players go to Crawley? I mean, that'd worry me massively.
I think that they're probably excited by, because, like I said, the fans are starting to turn a bit on Lindsay. We'd spent ages trying to replace Ben Garner, who's gone to Colchester now, but he'd got offered the Charlton job. We must have spent about maybe 6-7 weeks looking for his replacement, only to give the job to his assistant, who was supposedly going to play compo for because he was going to go to Charlton, but then trying to spin it that was the ideal candidate all along. So we're all thinking, well, why didn't you put him in the job 7 weeks ago? So to go through that in the summer, and then to go through the same thing in January, because I can see the logic that they probably thought, can offload these players, can offload this manager, and we'll replace them like for like. I think they just rolled the dice and didn't come up for them. So we've not replaced them with likewise experience. We've got Joe Tomlinson from Peterborough on a loan, who's already out injured. Fraser Blake-Tracy, who we had on loan, he's probably been one of our best players this season. We had him on loan from Burton, and he's out injured now as well. A loan from Bristol City, and an academy guy from Liverpool, and that's about it. And Charlie Austin, of course. But then that signing was unusual as well, because that happened over the manager's head before he left. That was just the chairman's dealing. So it's all a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it sounds all a bit chaotic to me. So Saturday then, if we turn our attention to that, obviously Charlie Austin's the player to watch. Who else are we supposed to, who else should we look out for?
Based on the last two games, nobody.
I don't, based on whatever you want to base it on.
We've somebody who's getting a good bit of attention. We've signed Tom Brewitt recently, who was a free agent. He's ex-Liverpool Academy, and I think he ended up going to Fylde and then going to America. And I think when we came in, you're thinking we were just going for, whoever's available in the free agent market, but he has actually settled in quite well. Johnny Williams, just recently retired from Wales duty, who can usually turn it on, but it's not quite come together. I think in terms of people to look out for, Tyree Shade is somebody who's sometimes been able to come on and create things from the bench. He's a strange player where if he starts, it doesn't always work, but if he's coming off the bench, he can usually be quite dangerous. And Romeo Hutton, you might remember, he's always putting the crosses in, so that's usually a threat. But it's slim pickings based on the last two games, because they really will have to have put the work in on the training ground to impress, I think.
Good
I was
stuff.
waiting to see how long you'd go silent for then. Ross.
No, waiting for you to do. We're waiting for you to ask something, Nick. Just
no, it was a little game in my head, and I was enjoying that. So Austin's sort of hit the ground running, hasn't he? But it's just a shame that it's come at that time when it's all a bit bit, as Russ said, a bit chaotic. But it does it always worries you in League Two coming up against like an ex-Premier League footballer, doesn't it? That's just he's played the Premier League fairly recently as well. You just think, oh god, you can just see what's going to happen a mile off.
Yeah,
But particularly with our away form as well.
yeah.
I think the worry with Austin is that he's had the Australia move that didn't really work out. I think last year he was back at QPR and was just a bit plant player. Obviously, he was considering his options, and he's managed to score about 8 and 11. And he came here saying that he wanted to be a part of a promotion push, and that's not really happened. And now we're starting to get the undecided about what my options are into the summer, because we only got him contracted till the end of the season. And I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think fans should be too pessimistic or harsh that if he's looking at options in League One, there was rumours that Joey Barton fancied a reunion at Bristol Rovers, or if QPR are unfortunate to come down, that he might go there. He must be seeing how he's done so far since January and thinking, fancy my chances at the next level up.
We've got a question through. I know it's not the Charlie Austin show, but last thing on Charlie Austin. Someone said, didn't he fall out with the fans recently? Is that a thing?
I saw a video, yeah.
Yes, so there was a video going on social media where he was getting this was another player getting a bit of stick, and this has been quite a good thing about having Charlie Austin back, as he does stick up for the younger players. As I say, we've got a lot of ex-academy players probably playing their first professional season here, and so if they're getting a bit of grief, he does tend to stand up for them. He does seem to have a good influence on those younger players. I guess the problem is as well is that he can't be everywhere. He's usually back for set pieces and corners and clearing lines there, and then you can't expect on a break for him to go from the 6-yard box all the way up. So we usually end up holding the ball up to nobody or floating crosses through. So he's somebody who can, like you say, he's been in the Premier League. He's probably had all kinds of wild comments on Twitter aimed at him and water off a duck's back. But I think that he sees that for the younger guys, he wants to stick his head out. I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. On to Saturday then. How do you think the game will go? We'll ask you through predictions shortly, but how do you think the game will go?
I think it probably, knowing how the season has started, it'll probably start quite brightly. That's usually the thought that we have. We always think like the first 10, 15 minutes, like, hey, starting to string something together here. But when we're caught out, we really are on the back foot. Corners seem to be a big problem for us. If you win some corners, get on the edge of your seat, because you might well find someone at the back post that'll be in. I imagine that we'll start bright, but it'll be difficult to maintain. Not feeling hugely optimistic, in all honesty.
Well, it's funny because we have well, this is it. We have opposition guests on all the time. As recently as last week, and Clive wasn't that optimistic, was he?
No.
And they came to our place and got a draw and played okay, actually, to be fair. But we'll talk about that later. Score prediction then for Saturday. What do you think? Give us a score prediction.
I'm going to, and this might even be framed as a positive. Maybe I'm going to go for 2-1 to you guys. And then we'll have but at least we got one back, and it wasn't a drubbing and something to build on. The good thing about Jody Morris coming in is that he doesn't have any truck for these poor performances, and he doesn't come up with, the kind of excuses that us fans might do to cover up for something like that. If it's bad, he'll call it out. But a narrow loss would be acceptable. Let's say.
Well, it's only going one way now, then, isn't it? That's it, jinxed. So, yeah.
3-0, Swindon.
Yeah.
I might not even bother going to Borneo to watch it now.
Brilliant. Nice one. Right, Joe, I won't take up any more of your time. Thanks so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And good luck with your club, first and foremost. But good luck after Saturday as well.
Thanks, guys.
All right, cheers, mate. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
We should have like blue headphones, Russ.
Hatters as well. That'd be good. We'll get that could be a merch idea. We could get hatters. The hatters.
Yeah.
Across the.
He was a nice guy, wasn't he? Had a very soothing voice. Could listen to them all
Yeah.
night.
We're very we're weirdo free on here. You know, when you meet opposition fans at games, you think, oh, they're all weirdos, but we get the non-weird ones.
We get the best.
Well, I
ones.
mean,
the
we're all weird. We're
Cleveland, though,
doing
aren't
a
they?
podcast.
Weirdos.
The local bewildered.
Have you noticed though?
I went a bit quiet in there. I was just trying to do some. Have we ever faced Charlie Austin in a league game before? Yes or no? Have we ever faced Charlie Austin in a league game?
I'm going to say yes.
No.
I'm saying yes. I think first time round at Swindon.
I'm going to say no.
You're
then
correct. We faced him. For last time we went down to the county ground, we lost 4-1 on a Tuesday night. He didn't score though. There we go. Well, I've got another brilliant piece of trivia which I want to introduce to you later, but we'll save that.
Yes.
Save that. In fact, I'm going to kind of throw it out there now and see if anyone.
No. Oh, go on then. I want to do your. We've missed a big chunk because I want to do your answers to your questions before.
Go on. Sorry, shut up, Ben.
Yeah, let's do that. Then you can do your trivia. Then we'll do admin, and then we'll get chatting. So I should have done this before you even came out, but yeah, you've been on loads of times, but I thought I'd ask you the questions anyway. So first game, Plymouth at home, December 1993. We lost 3-2. I think that's really impressive that you remembered your first game and the score.
Everyone remembers the first game, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, because it was in 1985 or 86 when my dad took me and I was about 4.
Yeah, they had brains then. They had memories then.
Have you not looked it up?
I wouldn't know what I was looking for. I just remember being at the game in the main stand and there was clapping and cheering and stuff.
Oh yeah, 3-2.
And now is it down?
Oh, that's it. That's what I mean.
17th or 18th of December. It's a Friday night anyway, and we lost 3-2. And I sat pretty much on the front row of the main stand.
So that was my first game, yeah.
Never look back.
My first game that I also remember.
Is what?
My first game that I also remember.
Maybe it's just me then. Maybe it's just me.
No, it's not. There's people in the comments who don't as well.
Oh, good. See, no, I'm not a weirdo. Best goal seen live. Gleeson. It's got to be Gleeson, hasn't it? That's the best. Isn't your favourite though? Your favourite was the Alan Armstrong equaliser in the Everton replay.
Yes. Yeah, Gleeson technically. I asked Dicko this the other day on Twitter. Look at him dropping names. I said to what was like not the best county goal that he didn't score, technically, not the kind of the most important or whatever. And he said Gleeson, yeah, for the technique or the techers, as he called it. The moment, what it was, like, everything that was riding on it to be able to do that, he said, yeah, that was the best county goal that he'd ever seen. And I think it's got to be really. There's others that I've probably, I don't know if I have celebrated more. I think there's people still celebrating that goal in Buckinghamshire somewhere. Like Palmer's goal against Bolton, that was 4-0. Poole at Watford and all of that. But none of them were as good as Gleeson's and had the big significant moment attached to it. Though.
Yeah, it's the Gleeson one is the one that I'm most annoyed that I missed. I regret missing that massively.
Yeah. But it's not like I say, my favourite is Allen's against Everton.
Nice.
Nothing ever will top that, I don't think. Even if we go on and I don't want us to play in the Champions League. If we won the Conference League, that's what I'm all about.
We have a nice long chat about that.
Shall we? Just dedicate a series of podcasts to it. Come on, let's do it. Best game you've ever been to. Recency bias says Bolton. That's probably the best, but not your favourite. You see, you've gone best and favourite. Favourite West Ham away. I'm guessing that's 1996.
Yeah, I wasn't alive in 1973 or whatever it was, despite the lack of hair. And
I was going to say you might be one of those games that you couldn't remember. Or Peterborough away in 2008. Was that the three? Was that the Michael Rose free kick?
No, come on, Ross. That was January 2007. The 1-0 at Peterborough in 2008. Tommy Rowe It was a game they could have gone up, could have got promoted. There was 10,000 there, and we turned up in our gold kits and we beat them. Tommy Rowe pinged it across low into the corner at the far end. It was tremendous.
I did spend most of the noughties pissed, so it's probably why I can't.
But as I say, my answer, honourable mention to Hensford away in 2016 for the final two. 1-0 down after 92 minutes, 2-1 up after 94 minutes. Big Coyote Odejayi, and Obi Anoro. Is that his name, Obi Anoro?
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah.
Cheshire Cup winner.
Yeah, he was.
Another he's the
got in the
base
final.
Another trivia question, but I'm not going to get into that one tonight as well.
If we ever do a Scarf Bagara War sort of mastermind kind of thing, you can set the questions. That'd be good.
No one will get him. No one will get him.
Remember when you did the co-op quiz? It was
Yeah.
just like 40 people just looking blankly at each other.
Yeah, yeah. Like out of like a possible score of like 200, the top score was about 16.
Don't know why I'm laughing. I'd be getting 16 probably myself. Can't remember. Out. And then your favourite ever player. I mean, I'll let you tell this one. It's quite nice.
Alan, always will be. And yeah, my lad's middle name is Alan with a U. I don't need to tell you his full name, but yeah, his middle name is Alan. He was everything. I was when I first saw him, I was 9, so we had him from when I was 9 till about 13, and he had it all. He had like the bleach blonde curtains, the Adidas kit, the boots with the red Predator tongue. He was bloody good. One of our best ever players. He was a superstar for us, and I've never got over him.
Love it.
First player I pretended to be in the playground, Alan.
Yeah. And I speak to his lad follows me. He's got 9 kids, by the way.
9?
Got 9 kids. One of them follows me on Twitter, and I speak to him every now and then. And basically just tell your dad I love him.
I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Ben Walker. Ben Walker's fan guest questions. Seems a bit weird calling it fan guest questions because you're kind of part of the furniture on this show now. So, but no, cheers for that. It's good. Nick, should we do a bit of admin before we get into the trivia question, and then we'll get into the footy?
Yeah, let's do that. Shall I go first?
You go first.
No away day show this Saturday because Geordie Hatter's taking himself off up to Scotland. Right for some minute. So I'm going to have to find music somewhere else. Music and county chat somewhere else. I might just watch this back again. We also did a special podcast. Was it the week before last with Paul from Stockport Gin and Dave from the County Supporters Cooperative? 30 bottles left now of Bagara Gin. 30. And it's the final batch, so get a move on. I'll put the link in the episode description. Job done. Bang. 30. Russ,
30. Yeah. I got vetoed on buying a bottle from my domestic finance director. Yeah. Because we don't really drink gin, so it's just going to be, you're just getting it because it's got Bagara on it. Like, well, yeah. So anyway, enough about that.
You're bitter about it.
No. Mug update. The mugs should be ready tomorrow, so I'm going picking them up, and I'll arrange with those people that have bought them to go and deliver them. I'll get some pictures as well. I think they've turned out pretty well, so I'll get some pictures, and then we're going to start taking orders for more. So yeah, if you want a mug, we've got some more designs as well coming, courtesy of Penno Draws.
Oh, good stuff.
Yes. You know about that, don't you? Yeah, you did. I sent you some pictures.
Yeah, I know. I've slept since then, though, mate.
Yeah.
It's been a busy week. I was too busy getting excited about your escapades on Saturday.
We'll come to that.
Hanging on for.
Hatters 83 March for the Salford game. So just mentioning that, Harry wanted us to mention that, so everybody get behind that. I think it's going to be pretty similar to what we did for the games last season, towards the end of the season, pretty much. And I wanted to do a special mention for Help the Hatters, because every Monday morning or Monday afternoon, they post some pictures about people, all the volunteers that go and clear up all the mess on Edgeley Park. And I think that's really applaudable. I don't think it stretches as far as it could. I think they post it onto Facebook, and that's about it. I think. Don't think it gets onto Twitter and other
That's just
places.
the
So,
boards, I think. Yeah.
yeah, so they are doing that, and clean up after yourselves at the match. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be
I was
nice.
just going to say that to you, Russ. I've seen you flinging your litter out your pockets when we score.
Yeah, it's in my pockets, and I take it out and fling it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
it's
me,
already
like me with my Greg's wrappers.
So yeah, and that is the admin. I think that we've not already mentioned in previous weeks.
That's all admin out.
Okay, Ben, what's your trivia thing that everybody can mull over?
Okay. So yeah, doing just one of my, I say weekly, it's almost kind of daily deep dives into the history of Stockport County and the stats. So we played Swindon Town at home on Valentine's Day 2004. Sammy McElroy was manager. We were 3-0 down after about 15 minutes. Tony Williams was in goal for us. He flicked the Cheadle end the V because he was getting a bit of stick on his debut.
Yes.
Aside from all of those things I've just said, and probably
All those cheerful
1,000 things which people will come up with, what was significant about that game? And there is one specific thing I am looking for. What was significant about our home game against Swindon Town on the 14th of February 2004? Answers in the comments.
Yeah, put your answers
Yeah,
in
That
the
would
answer
be-
in the comments and we'll go through them.
Unless it's the lad who I was sat with at the Bolton game last night, who I told it to, or his lad, I will be very impressed if anyone gets it. Someone will probably get it in the first 30 seconds now. But I don't think I've told it to anyone else since I found it.
It's a new one on me, and
I mean-
we've had nothing yet. No one's had a guess yet, so
No.
I'm totally stumped.
There
I
we go.
remember the keeper. I remember Williams doing the Visos. Remember that?
He went on to be quite. I quite liked him. He went on to be quite good. He played a big part in that 11-game unbeaten run that kept us up at the end of that season. He was say the number one. I think he was like number 33, maybe. So he wasn't number one. No, he wasn't 33 because actually Williams was 33. Doesn't matter. Either way, he was quite good for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was decent for us. I think he gets a bit of stick at other clubs, especially Wrexham. They had him at their place, and they didn't. One of the worst keepers they've had, apparently.
Speaking of our friends in
Wrexham
North
are like.
Wales, just
Oh, here we
seen
go.
them. They've just
Views
popped
will be
up.
going up now.
Yeah, the flares will be up, won't they? Yeah. They've just signed Billy Waters from Barrow.
Wow.
They've just announced. So, yeah, just give him the trophy now, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're coming up, aren't they?
not to play at home as well. They'll win that. Yeah, be good to see another proper team coming up.
What's
Yeah.
no? Let's not talk about that. We don't need to talk about them, do we?
No.
Let's move on.
All I will say is it'll be good to have them back as our rivals because it will be.
Those away days are great. They're horrible,
Yeah.
but they're great.
Oh, the
Yeah.
minging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More of that, please.
There's been 2 answers so far in the chat. Couldn't
Nope.
be more wrong, to be honest. Really. Like miles off, mate. Yeah, and Kyle. Yeah, so
Sweet. Right. Shall we talk about Mansfield then?
Yeah, go on. Someone's fucking frustrating again.
Yeah. What did you think? What did you think, Ben? Saturday.
follow.
That's all you need. That's just all you need right there.
I mean, better than Col. I mean, obviously we won at Colchester, but that was a proper war of attrition. Just grind it out, get the win, and that's fine. It's an away game, admittedly, like in Eastern Europe, it's that far away, but it's fine. Mansfield, I think we were better, definitely. Controlled the game more. Ultimately, we had the chances to win it. You know, we had numerous chances. Collar was one-on-one, one bounced off Tanto. You know, he had another one where he had a beautiful touch and then the defender got in the way.
Yeah.
Possibly could have made more of it. Rydell came close. I think, was it Rydell? Someone came close. We had the chances to win it. They took theirs. we couldn't hang on. It's one of those things, isn't it? I think more often than not, if we put in a performance like that, we'd probably get 3 points. But I said this yesterday a few times that this season has got the feel of the Rusk season and the season we lost to Chorley in the playoffs, that we're nearly there. We're just about hanging on to being one of the best teams, but we're not quite good enough. And I mean, I know we're only 6 points off playoffs and it's still eminently possible, but I don't think we'll get automatic. I think we'll probably finish a fair way off automatic. And I'd be amazed if we got through. I think we'll finish in the playoffs, but I'd be amazed if we got through a two-legged affair and got to Wembley. And I'd be astonished if we got promoted. Not because I don't think we're a good team. I just think that we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that. about the same. Yeah, I think we're just like you say, we're just in that tier below the best teams in the league.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not as if I think I've seen every team this season so far, and there's not been anyone who's been head and shoulders above us. So you'd think, yeah, they're going to walk the league. I know Orient beat us, and Orient, they're not going to quite walk the league, but they're probably going to win it fairly comfortably, or certainly go up. And they were probably the best team we've seen, but it's not like we've had in past seasons, or even like where we were last year when we were really in our, hitting our stride, where you think, yeah, they're clearly a cut above and too good for this level. There's not been anyone at all. We haven't been battered by anyone. I think biggest defeat is against Grimsby by 2 goals. So yeah, just ultimately I don't think we're quite at that level, but it didn't do us any harm in the last 2 times we've not been quite good enough. The following season we've gone on and won the league. So
yeah,
I'd take winning the league next year.
Do you not still want a bit of jeopardy though? Or are you all jeopardied out after last season?
There's not enough jeopardy on it for this season because we're not going to go up automatic. We're not going to win the league. Obviously, that's gone. We're not going to. I'd say we're not going to get automatic. I don't think we are. There's not enough jeopardy riding on it. Jeopardy's reserved, I think, for a title race or a relegation relegation kind of trapdoor encounter, like the Carlisle game. That was jeopardy. That was great. Yeah.
This has just turned into an episode of football cliches now.
Yeah. Sleepwalking towards the relegation zone.
But you're right, aren't you? I mean, I'm definitely in the mindset that massive uphill battle of getting out of the National League, which is really difficult. We've done that now, and I was loads more nervous last season. This season, we're in the Football League now, so I'm really, really comfortable about it. I think I said at the start of the season, 7th or above, and I'd be happy with that. I'm not expecting to go up either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit torn because I've never been one of these people who are just kind of, and I'm not suggesting you are, but I've never been one of these people who's just kind of grateful that we're back in the league and anything above 23rd is success, because it's not. Because look at the squad we've got, the manager, the facilities, all of that kind of thing. We shouldn't just be, we're not here to make up the numbers. We're not some novelty outfit who's kind of struck it lucky. We should be here to compete. We're, obviously start, and everyone at the top of the club has set quite a challenging series of objectives to get us up. And I'd imagine the objective for this season is to get promoted. It's not just to consolidate and push on next year. That's not to say if we don't do it, I'd see it as a failure, because, we're with 8, 9, 10 games to go. We're sat in the playoffs. We've still got a shot at automatic promotion. I can't see us doing what we did last year and, losing whatever it was, like 3 out of 5. I know we've wobbled a bit, but it's been more draws than defeats. We've not lost that many. I think it's maybe 3 since Christmas or since New Year. But yeah, I think we're probably about where we should be. Maybe we should be a position or 2 higher. I don't think you very, very rarely see a team come up from the conference and win League 2. It's not that often you see teams get promoted straight from League Two, straight from the conference through League Two again. So just to be in this position is strong. But yeah, like I say, also, if I had to put money on it, I would say that I think we would fall just short. Playoffs, but probably one of the losing semi-finalists.
Yeah. I'm still clinging on to automatic. It's just if we get 6 points in these next 2 games, the results kind of start to go our way, I'll start thinking, well, maybe. But yeah, I think we said since the start, playoffs would be most likely, which I think most people would have expected at bare minimum at the start. In terms of like on the outside, I know people get a bit unrealistic after. I mean, there's some of the Facebook seems to be the worst. Facebook seems to be full of people slagging off the message boards and then just being more dramatic. And I tend to think Yellow Board's quite centred and quite calm after.
The people on Facebook are all the headbangers and lunatics that have banned over the years for various reasons. So that's why they slag it off, because they're not allowed to come and play on there. Yeah.
County's Facebook page was just full of it. Oh, it's disgusting. It's like, well, it's not disgusting, is it? Set against the scale of human suffering and all that. It's not exactly. That bad.
Yeah, it's not the. Think about the. I'm trying to think of the half biscuit line you're referencing there, like the
Garby government,
children of Calcutta, and
No, I was going to say we're only 5 points behind third anyway. Okay, I think we've got to go to Carlisle. We've got to Salford are coming to our place. There's still 9 games to go, isn't there? So I think it's doable. Ian Dowden made a good point as well. We picked up the most points in the league from the 1st of January. I think I retweeted that stat from not the top 20 or something like that. So it's. I get where you're coming from. I agree as well. I think we'd just be in that second tier of teams that are decent in the league. I just still think go on a good run, because the games, especially this month, have been really, really close. We've drawn them. I don't say unluckily, but we were on top in every game, weren't we? It's not like we've drawn them and they were the better team. It's always been us on the front foot. Mansfield did well to get a point against us. I just think couple more wins, get a bit of momentum, maybe unlock this ability not to score more than 1 goal.
Yeah. That's it.
We could be on. We could be on.
I'm probably being a bit pessimistic. It's completely in our hands, and like you say, we've got to play Carlisle, we've got to play Swindon, we've got to play whoever else we've got to play. I don't know. And if we win 7 of those games, we will probably finish third, particularly if we beat Carlisle in those 7. And I know your man has just said we've picked up the most points in the league since Christmas, but we've also only won 1 of our last 5. And I think, you can, it's statistics, and you can make them fit any argument you want. And I think I always tend to focus on the last 5 rather than the last 10, because what we did 10 games ago is 2 months ago, and it's largely irrelevant. I'm more interested in what we've done over the last couple of weeks. And that's not to take anything away from the achievement of having the most points in the league since Christmas, because that's to be applauded. And if we'd been able to do that over the course of the season and not have that pretty poor start, then we'd probably be the Stevenage or Carlisle in this. I still don't think we may even be Orient. I don't know, because I just think they were so good pre-Christmas. I don't know if we'd quite be at that level, but we would probably be in the automatic now. And I think that poor start, and ultimately, I think look back on it, the red cards that we had could have cost us. I posted something on the board today. Someone was saying, oh, you don't get any prizes for, for getting players sent off or not getting players sent off. And I was like, well, no, not directly, you don't. But I did some research, and I think of our last 26 games, we've had players sent off. We've only won 4 of them, and 3 of those have been when they've had players sent off in like the 90th minute and we were already winning. The only time in the last 26 games we've had a player sent off, which is going back nearly a decade, that we've won with a meaningful amount of time left was Woking last season. So generally, you get a player sent off, you're not winning a game. And I think that's what cost us in the early part of the season.
Did anyone else, talking of discipline and stuff, did anyone else notice Kyle Wootton get elbowed on Saturday? It's not on the highlights.
It's elbowed every game,
I'm
pretty
convinced.
much.
Well, yeah, but it's a full-on elbow to the face right after their equaliser down near on the touchline near the pop side. And
Oh no!
the only booking that arose from it was Sarcevic for having a go at the referee, and I was already livid at conceding that late on, but yeah, I was fuming.
Yeah, I remember Sarcevic got booked. He was quite upset, wasn't he? He was kind of really on at the ref, but I didn't see what caused that.
Yeah, it looked like a clear elbow on Wootton. He was down for a couple of minutes.
Right.
Looked a clear elbow, but then it wasn't on the highlights. Neither was the little tussle between Byrne and their player, where they were on top of each other on the ground.
Yes, when they're running back.
That.
Yeah. That didn't make it in either. I would have loved to have seen that again.
They're getting quite abridged, the highlights at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. No commentary on this weekend's either.
Wasn't there?
No. It's strange.
Come on,
what's going on there?
Pad them out, get some filler in there. Come on.
Yeah. Get some nice crowd shots.
Yeah.
So you when go on.
No, I was going to say apparently it's on the behind the scenes video about it, but been full time.
Oh, I didn't realise they'd done another behind the scenes video this week.
Yeah, I think it came out today. Actually, I think it came out today.
Spoil, aren't we, with all these different views of things?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then more of that, please. They should ask us to produce some top quality content, or just some content.
Yeah, just
content. Yeah, bottom of the barrel content will do.
Yeah. I bet.
Okay, well, let's move on to Swindon. Before we do, let's show you a very short video so I don't have to say it. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. And for the audio podcast, please rate, review, and recommend us on whatever podcast player you are listening to us on. Cheers, thank you. There we go.
One of us also went last night, Russ, so we can get a bit of insight on that.
Yes, we can. Well, let's just briefly talk about Swindon then on Saturday, based on everything that Joe said before. Confident or what?
0-0 draw. I'm saying I can just
0-0.
one of them. Yeah.
All I'm going to say, I'm going to do the same as I did for Colchester. Kyle Wootton to score anytime. 6+ corners for County. That's my top tip.
I'm going to do that now.
Yeah, get on just get on it. Build a bet. Kyle Wootton. It's going to recommend a brand then. Yeah, get on it. Kyle Wootton, County 6+ corners.
Yes, every build a bet. I always put County 6+ corners.
There you go.
Same. Yeah.
We're quite. We typically fall short of that. We're quite low with our.
Yeah, it's only come in like twice in the past 10 or something stupid like
Get
that.
Adam Thomas back.
Yeah, chief corner winner, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Smash it against the right back's shins out for a corner. Happy days.
If he was near the penalty spot, he'd sort of turn like a tanker and go towards the corner flag to try and get a corner when to try and get the angle to cross it in rather than do something else. I'm joking. So yeah, I mean we covered Swindon before. Let's talk about the B game from last night because I didn't go. Tell us a bit about that, Ben. How was that?
It was good. Excuse me. It was good. It's about 600 and 700 there. To be fair, it was called a B game, whatever it was. It was certainly the starting 11 wouldn't have been out of place in the Carabao or Papa John's or whatever. It wasn't. I was expecting it to be made up of academy kids with, one or two kind of first teamers or reserves, but it was very much the other way around, starting 11 anyway. We were head and shoulders above them. It was clearly Bolton's kids as opposed to kind of their, fringe players from their 11 or 16. And we were just, so they were up against pros, counties pros. I don't think they really had a kick. We dominated. Bobby Jones barely had anything. He got behind everything he needed to in goal. Rydell was, again, he didn't have an awful lot to do. He scored, took his goal well, but his delivery, and I've said this a few times now, we've seen him at games, his delivery from corners, free kicks, and just kind of when he's in that, kind of 20, 30 yards from goal along the touchline is as good as anything we've ever seen. It's properly kind of Premier League standard at times, how good it is. And he stood out. But there was a lad who came on, I don't know his name, but he scored the third goal for us. He was number 15, little stocky lad. He kind of had a bit of a Danny Lloyd vibe about him, quite, not that tall, quite powerful, good feet, quick, tricky. He went past probably 2 or 3 Bolton players and just leathered it in. Played some really nice passes. No idea who he was. He didn't look to be a kind of a 17, 18-year-old. He looked to be a little bit older. So whether he's been released from a club or he's even at a club now and we've got him on trial, I don't know. But he stood out for me, as well as the number 2 who started the game for us, Ben Darby, who I think is at Stockport Town. He's certainly in our academy. And as not just his performance, but I think I don't know if he started as captain, but he certainly had the armband at one point. And he looked really good as a leader as well. He was, even with a team alongside him, he had Ryan Johnson and Joe Lewis and Rydell, who were all established, first team players. He was marshalling them, telling them what to do, and really kind of standing up and making a difference. He looked great.
Nice. That's good to hear. So what's he called? Ben Darby, did you say?
And I think I probably completely got his name
Darby, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Ben Darby.
Nice. And we're playing these because there's no reserve league anymore, is there, in the football league? Is that right?
Don't know.
Some leagues, but
we've not got the Pontins League anymore. That used to be.
That's it. We've been out for long, haven't we? I don't think there's any kind of like that. This is
remember that in '96. There was always a lad we used to have. There always used to be someone who was kind of prolific at that level. Remember in '96, '97, we had James Flood. Never played for
James Flood, yeah.
But you look in the program every week, and he'd have he'd have like 90 goals for the season. And Chris Coward was another on kind of 05, 06. Well, we were in 04, 05.
Yeah, blonde-haired lad was he?
Yeah, he made probably one of the shortest ever careers for County. He came on at the end of the League Cup game against Sheffield Wednesday in August 05. Yeah, Proudlock ripped us a new one. He came on, kind of jogged on, and then got the ref blew, and he kind of jogged off. Never played for us again. That was it. That was his total career for County. And I've got his shirt upstairs. Yeah, but he was another one, and it was every week he'd kind of almost like another 10 had be added to his total. You've got so many.
In the Pontins Floodlit League, was it the Pontins Floodlit League? Because
implying the existence 7 o'clock as well.
7 o'clock, yeah. Implies the existence of a Pontins non-Floodlit League as well. Where kicking a ball around in the dark.
But no, do you know what? It was good last night. Say there was about 700 there. The main stand I think was ticketed only. There was some kids and I think freebies in the Cheadle end. But they were all there, Challoner, Clint Hill, Simon Wilson, what's he called, Simpson. Even Stott was there. No, it's Mark Stott taking a bit of B-team action. Can't get enough of it, can he?
Well, talking of Mark Stott, he was probably he probably just wanted to be around Edgley Park because that's where he met you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I can tell you about it.
Yeah, to cling on to those golden memories of that stolen afternoon with Russ Johnson off the Scarf Bagara War.
It was amazing for me. So, for those that don't know, a few weeks ago I attended a charity auction. Steve Bellis was there. A lot of County fans, and it was a charity auction for a lady called Alex Jameson. You might know her because it's the wife of Paul Jameson, who's a big County fan. She's unfortunately got a terminal illness. So there was a charity auction and there was loads of County stuff. Bellis was there, as I said. And one of the do we call it a prize? I don't know.
Call it a lot. You call it a lot.
A lot. One of the lots was
An auction.
a day at county, but a money can't buy day at county. So you know, and I thought, wow, this is. I didn't know that. I went to it after the Tranmere match, thinking I didn't know I was going to be bidding on anything, and then this came up, and I thought, right, well, I'm going to go for this. So I did. I spent a bit of a wedge on this and won the auction. So money to a good cause, and then had cashed it in on Saturday and arranged it and went into the boardroom at county. Was like treated so well. It was just brilliant. Olivia came and spoke to us. Mark Dawson, one of the directors, spoke to us. Steve came in and spoke to us as well. And then Mark came and spoke to us. And he's so enthusiastic about the club. It's just, I was sold. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, everything he was telling us, just like, this is brilliant. Telling us about the renovations and things like that. All stuff that was just really good to hear. He's just so enthusiastic. And then he gave me a money can't buy item. And it is the match ball signed by all the players from the Bolton game.
Nice.
That's what he gave me. I was just like, I was nearly crying. Honestly, I was welling up when he gave me that. I'm not gonna lie, I was welling up. So that is going to go into this, as he called it, my shrine. And yeah, it's going to go in.
Make sure Nick has a shower before he goes anywhere near
it. When's he coming on the show then?
Well, I did say to him, I can't let you go, Mark, without asking you, will you come on the podcast? And he said, yes, he will come on the podcast.
With Specky Gobshite, no chance.
So when, I don't know, I need to arrange it. But yes, he did say he would come on. And I don't care where it is. We can go meet him. He can come to the County Arms. We can do it in Basque. Don't care. It'll be a decent episode.
Fantastic.
I hope he picks somewhere really obscure that you don't want to go to now.
Pineapple.
Yeah, Pineapple.
I don't mind.
Old Trafford.
Love it. I love it. So yes,
you two going to Swindon?
I'm not going.
No, I'm not going to Swindon. I'm off to Borneo to watch it from there.
Yeah.
Are you guys going, Ben?
Yeah. I've not missed.
You've not missed one this season, have you?
No, I missed a couple at the start. I missed Crawley and I missed Mansfield. I've not missed anything since then. So just got to keep going, haven't I? Sutton's proving to be tricky, I'll be honest. Because what's happening? We've got Sutton on the Friday. So I went to Colchester. So I've been everywhere. I've been Colchester recently. So we've got Sutton on the Friday, Newport at home on the Monday. And then we're going away up to Scotland on the Tuesday because it's Easter, wife and kids, go for a few days up there. But I'm cutting it short to get the train down to Gillingham away. So leaving, as you do, leaving the family holiday to go to Gillingham in the 4th Division. And then we've got Carlisle on the Tuesday and then Orient again. So getting Sutton is tough and there's no trains and all that. So I'll probably be there, probably be at Sutton. But yeah, definitely going to Swindon. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not booked in to go to any more away games. I'll be honest with you. But I'm probably going to go to some. But yeah, got a bit on at the moment. But yeah, I fancy Carlisle away. Never been up there. But it's a Tuesday night, isn't it? So
best ones. Speaking, and do you know what? Worth celebrating, worth mentioning. A year ago, at this very moment, we were away at Kings Lynn on a Tuesday night.
There we go. That's a reason to go to Carlisle if ever there was one.
Exactly. And Carlisle's not as far as Kings Lynn, so
no. I mean, as far as getting to grounds, it's probably one of the easiest ones, and it's just off the M6, isn't it? Probably. So
just keep going up, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. Okay.
We need the answer to the teaser before we wrap up, don't we?
Yeah, well, before we get the answer to the teaser, just to mention as well, the guests that we've coming up, we are gonna get, obviously Mark Stott on. Mike Payne and Steve Massey, we're looking to get on in the coming weeks as well. What we're gonna do, I think, Nick, if we're okay with this, do them as special episodes, keep our regular Wednesday sort of weekly show.
Yeah.
Do those as special
That's
episodes
what I've been saying all along. It's like I was right all along.
all along.
So I just add that to my list.
All along.
The list of grievances that they're going to read out at my funeral.
And what we'll do, I've asked Richard Singleton. Do you remember him? To come along on those. I'm not asking you, Nick. I'm asking the audience. I know you remember him.
All right, just checking. just showing that I'm still listening to you, Russ. Now that you're associating with people above this level, I just want to show that you're still talking to the streets, Russ. You're still
right.
You're still at your cred.
I was gonna say I've always associated myself with people above your level. No, but Richard Singleton, he's going to join us for those because, he was very good when he came on. I don't know if anybody else heard that. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. He was very good. His knowledge, I'd say, for the era matches Ben's.
Does he know the answer to this question though?
He doesn't watch it live, so he might do. But he remembered. I think he said he remembers Steve Massey's debut. So I'm not going to argue with that. So that's what we'll do.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, since I'm assuming that was you asking for my permission.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Rhetorically. Yeah. If you can ask permission rhetorically, I don't know.
Good bit of production chat. That. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. Ben.
Teaser.
We've got another answer which you probably saw coming. Oh no, we've got another 2 answers. Don't know if you've seen those.
Koala Chris, you can back off as well at the bottom. Yeah. Didn't lose 6 in a row. Yeah.
Oh.
So exactly what happened last time we came on. It was
6 in a row.
It was this time last year. It was after the Kings Lynn game. Because I remember coming on and doing the wrap up, and we were talking about the whole hoo-ha about County flying down to Eastleigh the following day, which was the next game. So we actually won the next game, Koala Chris. Although then we did lose 3 of the next 4. So
maybe FA Trophy. Yeah. FA Trophy in there as well, was it?
Yeah, we lost to Wrexham. We beat Eastleigh, then lost to Wrexham.
Yeah.
Great days.
Great days. Right then.
Days,
Oh, distant memory now. So this teaser then, do you want to recap the question for people that maybe didn't hear it before?
Yes. Anyone who did hear it before may as well not have heard it. The answers have been so far away.
Have you seen the other answers that are coming from Andy McDade and Dromiller LB? Did you see those ones?
I don't know if I have.
Andy McDade said, was it the 1000th league game?
Could have been. Don't think it was, but definitely wasn't. But no, not that.
And then the Dromler LB says, did a bloke rip his season ticket up and throw it on
I do vaguely remember that happening.
I remember that
game.
No,
what did happen? This isn't the answer, but what did happen at that game? At half time, this 18-year-old lad went on the pitch with his girlfriend and proposed to her.
Everyone's going
16 at best. And then and then she said yeah, and everyone kind of clapped, and then Ken said something like, and she'll be back at school on Monday, something like that, and everyone clapped. Yeah. But that's not it. What it was, and I've just, as it's been on, it's something that has occurred for the last 900. So this was 972 games ago and counting. Okay. And at risk of sounding like I'm living in the past, and I'm really not, it's just because it was inspired by a tweet I saw a couple of weeks ago. So the question was, we played Swindon Town at home on the 14th of February 2004. We lost 4-2. What was significant about that game? And the answer is, that was the last time we named a match day squad without a player managed by Jim Gannon in it. So in the 972 games since that, there has been at least one player in the match day squad who Jim has managed. And it's still going. And we've got Hinchliffe, Crowsdale, and Southam Hales, I think. Is there anyone else in the current batch? Connor Jennings has gone.
Jennings is gone. Yeah, that'll be all of them.
That's everyone.
Yeah, Rydell came after.
Yeah, Paddy came after. I don't think there's anyone else. So yeah, that's it. Because what the tweet inspired it was, someone tweeted the other day, Arsenal named their first match day squad recently that had a player in it. First match day squad since 1986 that didn't have a player in it managed by Arsene Wenger. Because obviously they had Tony Adams and all of them going way back to the mid-80s.
Yeah.
And then since then they've had Granit Xhaka, and they've always had someone until the other week who had been managed by Arsene Wenger. So I thought, what's County's equivalent? And it goes back to two. So every game we've played since Valentine's Day 2004 has had a player in it who was managed by Jim Gannon.
Bloody hell.
And generally, as with all county quiz questions, one of the main threads which holds it all together in times of strife, when we're down to one player, is Paul Turnbull. If you're ever in doubt about a county quiz question, go with Paul Turnbull. But yeah, we had Turnbull was one who was very featured many times. O'Halloran in the dark days of the North. Duxbury, he had 2 spells, was another. Vincent kind of held things. Andy Halls as well, kind of straddled a few areas. So yeah, we'll probably go on Swindon on Saturday now, and Crowsdale, Hinchliffe and South of Ayleswell playing. That'll be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we keep that up for another 28 games, so into the first 15 or so games of next season, it'll be 1,000 games in a row we've had a player managed by Jim Gannon in the matchday squad.
That's amazing. And what is it for Arsenal? How many games is it for the Arsene Wenger thing?
Oh, the Arsenal one is like 86, I think. But I can extend this, and I need to verify this one, but I'm pretty sure it's true. In fact, I'm almost certain it is, that if you include it to be players who have been managed by Jim or played alongside Jim,
because back even
further,
going
back to probably 1978, because you will have Ali Gibb holds it together in the early noughties. Aaron Wilbraham does. Gibb overlapped Jim by about 3 games, which is quite useful. Then you've got Aaron Wilbraham, John Daly, James Spencer, and then you're going back to players he actually played alongside, Flinney and everyone, which then takes you back to the early 90s, where you've got Beaumont and Bill Williams. Then Jim came in like 89. And then before that, you've got Andy Thorpe, who takes you back to 1978. So again, I'd have to, I'm sure there are some games in the late 70s, early 80s where Andy Thorpe didn't play all of those games. But I don't know if there was anyone else who overlapped with Jim. I know Bill Williams didn't come till about 85. So there's probably some in the early 80s, but I would put good money on it. Certainly back to 1990, we have got, from today until 1990, there's probably every single matchday squad has featured a player who has either been managed by or played with Jim Gannon, which is pretty remarkable, really.
Yeah.
That's some top stat in that. That might be the best quiz question we've had. That the best bit of knowledge. I'm going to tell everyone that next game.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with that. I'm going to tweet it. Some else is probably tweeting it now and racking up the likes. Yeah. So
I think it's by far and out the best quiz question because we don't really ask quiz questions on here, do we? And they're never going to be like that, are they? I mean, come on.
Do you want me to do a little quiz corner for you? Just come on and come up with completely unobtainable questions every week.
Yeah, just come on with a laptop in front of you, like Richard Osman.
Yeah. Also, another one. Final one. Then I'll go. Not a Q&A because it's not one of them. But last time we won at Swindon, October 2003, won 2-1. Barlam and Wilbraham scored. Dave Challoner was in our starting 11. So it'd be nice if we won this time, and then we can have some kind of link to only ever winning at Swindon when Dave Challoner plays. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to go and have my tea now because
safe in the knowledge your work's done.
Yeah.
Nice. Right. Probably good time to wrap it up then. Thank you to everybody that's watched, listened, liked, reviewed, etc. Thank you very much, and we will see and speak to you next week.
Well,
Lovely stuff.
this episode of the Scarf Bagara War was written, recorded, and produced by Russ Johnson and Nick Lee. The music on the opening titles was produced by Dan Johnson. Subscribe wherever you get your content, as well as finding out how to join the TSBW fan club. Check out